Okay, there we go. And I'm gonna turn on, well, actually, I don't think we need to turn on the Twitch integration because it's gonna be a pretty short stream. I can only stream for another 2 hours. But you know what? Let's just do it. It only takes like 10 seconds. I have to paste in the stupid Twitch integration code every time I boot this game because it won't save it for some reason. Okay, Twitch token, connect. There we go. All right, continue. Okay, we left off on doing an autopsy, a field autopsy on the dead body. Let's continue that.
The rotting man lies on his side with his eyes looking straight through you. His body is supine and open to intrusion. By autopsy, the lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Okay, let's finish the second dialogue tree. Open your ledger at the field autopsy form.
The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with,
Oh, you know what? I just realized I have follower mode turned on. So I don't know if you're still there, RPG Reki, but let me turn that off so you can chat. I have it turned on because apparently a lot of people like to spoil the story in Disco Elysium for some reason, as people like to do on the internet, I guess. So I have that turned on because of that. Let's see. So if you're one of those people, please don't. But if you aren't, then welcome. Okay. Let's see. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with assistant.
That's you.
Right. Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau. That's the crappy name we came up with at the beginning when we lost our memory and had a hangover. Let's see. Let's just write HDB.
the corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there. The next box says,
Coroner's case number.
KK57-0803.0815.
I don't know anything, so I can't spell stuff. Okay. Well, yeah, thanks for letting me know. Welcome to the stream again. Yeah, Disco Elysium is a... I don't know how to describe it. It's definitely an RPG, and it's known for having really good voice acting. So pretty much every line in the game is voice acted, and the narrator... I've been playing this game so much that I have been dreaming in his voice. But it's really well done. But I guess to summarize the story, we're 2 cops in a... I guess it's kind of a sci-fi world, and we're investigating a murder where this guy got hanged.
that's because he doesn't want to bring up the messy question of your initials.
Write it down.
Next. NA. Next.
Date of birth.
NA.
Age.
Roughly 50.
The corpse looks ageless, like meat on a hook.
Race.
Mondial. Subgroup Occidental, as per your observation.
The pudgy mess looks neither mondial nor occidental. It doesn't even look human. The next line says, as you read it, you think, that leaves out dark-haired Mesk, Sao, Sarah Mauritian, Kedratic. Lighter-skinned occidental means this man could be Vespertine, Oranese, Messinian. Those three are on the table. A solid guess, Mr. Racial Profiler. Also of note, your unconscious racial profiling machine ruled out Messinian before. Despite all the copperoonies and Kobos, that leads Vespertine or Oranese. Continue.
Fucky, fucky!
There's a couple of kids standing nearby, and they're really obnoxious.
Male.
Pigs can have sex!
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face.
We're still going with March 4th. 51. What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
KK 57 0503 0815 listens motionless, with the cargo belt still around his neck. Only one box remains.
Evidence of treatment.
None. At least not after the initial examination.
What exactly is treatment?
Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem.
I'm not so sure. Didn't the footprints look like he was carried over?
They'd have to have incapacitated and carried him over. This man was more than a match for untrained dog walkers.
He places his hand on the dead man's chest, as if in preparation.
Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-DeLorean burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Then,
We should start the post-mortem.
the corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
External examination.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
He turns the body onto its side to check the underwear label.
See, it's happening.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid.
The rest of the clothes have been removed post-mortem by scavengers in order to get to the victim's ceramic armor. Officers are in search of the missing pieces. Removal of the boots is left for processing.
It would be clever of you to omit the boots altogether, sire. If you are to keep them for yourself, as you ought to, you have deserved them more than
Oh my
anyone
god.
else.
Drama, please don't tell me to steal the boots. Write it
The
down.
boot has a serial number. It's E50.100.100. The lines between the plates are in the shape of the alphanumerical. The number is purposefully concealed by the design. Tattoos.
He stands up, feet planted on either side of the body.
The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo resembling a microelectronical circuit board. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene using a Trigat Mini. The deceased has a belt for airlifting cargo around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end. Well nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age, about 50. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature below freezing. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
Touch the corpse's hair before moving on.
The hair under your latex fingers feels cold to touch, wet.
stroke the hair.
The stench is suffocating. Strands of dark brown hair start sticking to the latex of the glove, like thread off a rag doll's head. There must be brilliantine in there. He's combed his hair back with oil.
Write it down, adding the brilliantine.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs. Consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity.
Fucking low velocity? You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max. Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest. Consistent with predation.
Write it down.
Ligature mark.
The lieutenant produces a small folding knife. With the other hand pulling on the belt, he starts cutting into the polyester. The stench is horrid. After a while, it's obvious the material cannot be cut.
The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Good thing we got these chain cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now,
He points to the rope squeezing the dead man's neck.
we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as much precision as you can.
See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
Ooh. Look for a good spot to cut.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the yeast. The knot is the weak spot. The chain cutters fit in there. Steady now, like a flower arranger. 2 cuts and it should come loose.
Interfacing gave instructions. Let's go. Alright.
After some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber handles together, sweat forming on your brow. Snap! The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck.
The lieutenant has kneeled closer, running his finger along the dark red groove until there's a gap.
Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters. Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact, genitalia.
He pulls down the man's underpants.
No, it's gonna happen, see?
I fucking knew it!
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
Inspect.
The dead man's penis is average-sized, congested from the downward collection of blood. The testicles are uneven in length, hanging underneath. The genitalia is greenish.
Ugh.
Marbling is present around the crotch.
Write it down and move on.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip.
Bullets have bitten little pieces out of him. It must have been excruciating, especially the hip. Before you is a temple of pain that knew little tenderness in life.
In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
This is the body of a soldier, a mercenary.
We have a real museum here. Of battles, wars. Last item, hands.
He takes the man's right hand in his, inspects it, then moves on to the other hand.
His flesh is cold, icy.
Pleased to meet you. Where are you from and what's your name?
My name is...
I'm only fucking with you. I know where you're from. From Cappadocia.
Oh,
And
man.
your name is Il Corbo. What can I do you for, Il Corbo de Cappadocia?
pleasure's all mine. Tell me, are you a temple of pain and a stranger to tenderness?
You get me, Kobo. I feel like you were once for tenderness and kisses yourself, but then shit went south and now you're ahead of even me on the pain front. We should do this more often. Be close like this, I mean.
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling.
Were we expecting any?
I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment. Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next?
Internal examination. Actually, let's do number 3. Tell me something, dead man.
Shoot, Looney Rooney. Come back later, Corpo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
Dude, that's so creepy. Internal examination.
Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
Of course, there is a moral to be drawn from it. A moral to this story.
Sure.
What would that be?
He looks at you inquisitively.
The dead man looks, too, with barely contained excitement to hear the moral of his story.
The brain is very vulnerable to compromises in its blood supply. Okay, that's pretty dumb. But let's just say it, I guess.
I think that may well be the moral of every story, officer.
Alright, NA.
Good. Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous. You hear cracks as the lieutenant moves his sharp fingers inside the flesh, like the creaking of an old house at night.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable. Respiratory system.
Back hunched as if in prayer, he begins to pry open the dead man's jaws. He stops to exert more force. Both hands are used.
Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
Look inside the mouth.
No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. Sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like you're about to throw up again, straight in that mouth of his. No, you don't. You can keep it in. You can keep anything in.
Ooh, past the medium check. Look deeper inside.
You manage to suppress the contractions trying to enter your stomach. All it takes is concentration. Through it, you see nothing but darkness. More meat and darkness.
There are ancient mysteries down there, Kobo. Ask me later.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus. Hepatobiliary. NA.
Why don't we have anything?
Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
He looks at the corpse's stomach with a mixture of tiredness and disgust. Right, NA.
Same for toxicology and serology. NA.
Both?
Unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there?
The completionist in me wonders if there's something we could still do.
Like a toxicology screening? At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything, even if he was brimming with cocaine. But still, you should add a request.
Brimming with cocaine.
Oh my god.
Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging. Gastrointestinal.
He breathes a sigh of approaching relief. This is the last field on the list. He looks around to the ground, the pool of feces there.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila.
He touches the corpse's bloated lower abdomen briefly. Omit the voila.
What's next on the list?
Description of injuries.
Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too.
Be thorough if you want maximum results.
What about the injuries we have inflicted?
Oh, so we inflicted them?
This is a team effort.
You mean the spin-stabilized munition from a kill A990 muzzleloader lodged in his lung? That was not a team effort. I just missed my shot. Also, let's not mention it. Muddies the water.
But isn't that sloppy?
Be pedantic if you like, it doesn't matter. No one else is going to investigate this man's murder. And if they do, such details would only confuse them.
See? These pigs are fucking corrupt.
Why don't you fuck him if you love him so much?
Now, injuries.
Bite marks.
Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted. And your opinion, officer?
Non-fatal post-mortem.
Agreed. Next injury?
Contusions.
So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath, the description of injury. 2 boxes.
Non-fatal.
Right. Next,
Ligature mark.
a dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side. The ring around his neck is visible. Think for a moment. There's time. Don't rush.
Let's read the description again. The hyoid bone is fractured, cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck. If the bone was fractured, then if he was alive, he would have died instantly. Emerging on the skin above and below the ligature mark, which would have happened obviously from the hanging. No signs of clawing on the neck. So that's consistent with him dying instantly from having his neck snapped. Opinion fatal.
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned. But it's a start. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over.
He produces a small black plastic roll from his jacket, a body bag. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this. Okay. How did it go?
Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that's the goal of an autopsy. We also requested a toxicological screening. That was thorough. The results should arrive in a couple of weeks, if we are lucky. I would not. Then, given the state of decay here, I consider establishing the victim's ethnicity a minor success.
What else?
We were thorough with the list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
Oh yeah, well done, Master Detective. Maybe a drink is in order.
Oh my god. Electrochem is so useless. Okay. Okay, what now?
I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg
Okay. Rip out a copy of the autopsy.
for processing.
He looks at the dead man one more time, then at the slip of red paper in his hand, then the corpse again.
You tilt your head, also looking at the corpse.
-1 established probable cause. Huh. Do I have anything that increases perception? Try to remove the dead man's boots.
I thought we decided to leave it to processing. Let's not turn this into some kind of circus.
Damn it. This is turning into some sort of mega puzzle.
Let's leave and try to increase our perception. It is a white check, so we can do it again. Let's see. Nike, health. Physical instrument is actually pretty useful, so I'm gonna wear this. Let's see. Conceptualization. Reaction speed minus. Oh, this gives -1 perception. Let's put on different glasses. Okay, so we have 6 perception now.
The man is The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Okay. Oof, that is pretty rough. We do have a skill point, but I want to try and save it for the thought cabinet if we can. What happens if we try and remove the boots?
I thought we decided.
Damn it. Okay. So you can sneak out of your room maybe, after he's gone to sleep.
Alright, let's give the perception check a try.
Your arm reaches
Oh my
out,
god.
and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, dead flesh through the latex glove. It's right under the palm of your hand.
What is this?
His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a rubber spider, your gloved hand crawls on his features. Everything is silent, all around.
Crawl up his nostrils.
They are swollen shut. You need to really push to get in.
Push your fingers in his nose.
Only the little one fits. The flesh changes shape as you bore in, searching for something in the cartilage.
The fuck is he doing?
The thing you're looking for, it's not there. Crawl out, spider.
Put your fingers in his mouth.
The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop. You're on the right track.
What's my Inland Empire at? 4? Play with it? Sure, I guess.
The tongue moves freely in the cavity. The mucus of the mouth is slippery, fragile, even through the latex. From the soft meat, teeth are budding. Hard pearls of bone in the gums and in the back of the mouth. Can you feel it? You're so close. Rip his jaws open now. Look in.
Open your eyes and look.
A vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing. death fumes rising from his throat. And there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate, you see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanished. No larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius, the edges appear darkened.
Say fuck yeah. Oh my god.
Keep going.
Kuno nods, too. He takes a step closer. A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound.
Put your finger in.
Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up. Tissue damage. Wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth, right into his brain
Oh,
stem.
Jesus.
The fuck is happening?
Ah, shit, see?
Feel around first.
The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex.
Push deeper.
Your yellow fingers slide into the remains of the limbic system. There is no resistance. It's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres.
There's a cavity cut right between the hemispheres.
The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper.
Fucking cavity, see?
Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow. All the muscles in your body harden. Time to enter him.
I don't want to punch through his mouth.
Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly. Cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper until you feel it on the tip of your finger. Ice cold serrated metal. Its edges cut right through the latex and into your finger.
Oh, jeez.
The pain is barely noticeable under the adrenaline rush.
I feel a solid object right under the skull.
Can you get to it?
Inspect the skull first.
There's a tiny crack, a protrusion in the cranium, right in the back of his head. Your finger must be pointing straight at it, from the inside. The object that is in there stops just short of the skull, in the encephalus, knocking this tiny fracture into the cranium.
We have the makings of a very small exit wound here.
Forget about the fucking exit wound, Beano. The pig is wearing him like a fuck puppet.
Interfacing, easy check. Fish it out.
You pick the object between your index and middle finger. Feels sharp, like metal. You press your teeth together. Your jaw is clenched. All you need to do is just...
Slowly pull your fingers out.
The inside of the head feels cold and smooth, like a glove. Sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth. The garden glove is covered in blood right up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower. A blossom made of lead.
Ooh. Oh, Sitogun, welcome to the stream. Yeah, disco is going really well. We actually saved right before we did the field autopsy, so it's actually pretty graphic. And I just found what appears to be a bullet.
Fucking beautiful.
A bullet.
The lieutenant puts a small bag marked evidence under it. Anyway, yeah, hope you're having a good New Year so far. Thanks for dropping by.
The bullet falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eyes and says,
A non-caliber. Rifled. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact.
Should I let Kim keep it?
No, you deserve it. We can log it later.
Oh. The lieutenant drops the bag in your hand. It feels light.
We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion color. Soft palate, back of mouth. High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound?
Sounds about right.
Opinion, fatal injury.
Goddamn
And one
right.
last thing. We should amend injury number 3. Ligament mark. New opinion, non-fatal. Post-mortem. Treatment.
He's proposing the bullet was the real cause of death, and the hanging an attempt to conceal this fact.
The ligament mark, the fractured hyoid bone, it was all treatment.
Yes, and the belt around his neck. The hanging. Even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead.
You think so?
I did not just come up with this. I've had my doubts since you showed me the tracks, officer. Why did they carry him over? Why not march him? There is no satisfactory explanation.
Yeah, that's a good point.
There have been other signs too. Small details. Everything is too neatly designed for us to assign probable cause here, as we did, full-heartedly. Well, no more.
There is, of course, the very real possibility he was both shot and hanged.
Maybe they shot him while they hanged him?
To put him out of his misery? It's possible, but it does not explain all the other dubious things here. Lack of struggle, primarily. I may be intellectually sloppy, but I prefer one theory at a time. And this just smacks of treatment to me.
Who would do this?
That's for us to find out. But this, it will make finding them just a little easier.
Why would anyone do this?
To hide something. The real killer? The real motivation? What really happened here?
I think I need to wash myself.
Oh, you really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening.
Maybe the bullet holds more answers.
Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it.
What happens next?
We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the day.
Kim has been wanting to tell us we stanky even before we touch the corpse. True. I don't know how Kim tolerates us other than the fact that he's a professional cop, unlike us. You'll be gone? What should I do in the meanwhile?
Work on the case. Tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. An officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this. I'll leave that choice to you. And one more thing. Great work, detective.
After you bag the corpse, Lieutenant Kitsuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You can do side tasks and even the main case, but it might be more difficult. Plan his exit accordingly.
Okay. So he'll be gone for the rest of the day. What can I work on? Wash off the death smell. Ugh. A good place to visit once you can have some privacy. Check twice to see whether you're done with all the corpse-related tasks. After you've sent the body away, you can't take it back. Okay. Sure, right. Okay. Call Alice back tomorrow. Close the water lock on Wednesday. Smoker on the balcony, I can do that later. In order to succeed, the body has to be down, autopsy has to be finished, and 3, Kim has to be absent. He wouldn't approve. This will be devilishly tricky, so don't beat yourself up if you manage to send the body to processing without getting a hold of the boots. Interesting. But why? Why would I need the boots, though? Good cop, bad cop. I have a lot of points in sorry cop. But I rejected the sorry cop prompt. Okay. Oh, and I have 2 skill points now. Very nice. Okay. Oh, let me finish looking at my journal. Keep searching for the caller. This might take some time. Or who reported it. Victim's tattoos. Joyce's info. Ask Gart. So I think this is a bug because I accidentally clicked out of this and now the dialogue won't reappear. So this one's actually stuck. Track down badge. Find smokes. I have that in my inventory. Find the armored gloves, which is it's blocked by the water lock. Okay.
Shoot, Looney Rooney.
At the autopsy, you said you have ancient mysteries.
Oh yes, Kobo mi Lobo. In the gift horse's mouth. Tracts and wakes and waterways. Ancient materials buried.
Yeah, but to where, brother?
Just a small gulp away. My beloved Kobo. A small gulp away.
Is he telling me to get drunk?
Come back later.
Let me increase my inland empire and see if we can get him to say something else. I think that's it. I have now 5 points in it.
The man is The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Shoot, Looney Rooney. Oh yes, just a small gulp away in the past. I'm a joke. Look at me.
You are not, but who were you when you were alive? Or there's nothing funny about you.
There is nothing funny about jokes either. A killer. Go ahead, Kobo.
Huh.
What do you mean? Ask me more questions. You fucking love questions. Love did me in, Brother Kobo. It was love all along. Come back later.
Alright. So we can leave him there for now, and then come back when Kim is doing something else, I guess. Evidence, fractured bullet. Oh, I forgot I have this. The
bullet is safely sealed away in a plastic bag bearing the RCM stamp. Kim has filled out the label on the bag with the item number, case number, and date and location the bullet was found. Beside his orderly handwriting, the bullet looks especially sad, like a tiny, shriveled head of cauliflower.
Feel the bullet through the bag.
The squashed bullet has some sharp edges where the jacket has split open. It feels cold, even through the bag. You wouldn't ordinarily have cause to handle jacketed bullets. The citizens' militia uses cast bullets only. Little pebbles of metal loaded from the muzzle, usually in a cartridge.
What do I do with it?
What?
I said, what do I do with you, bullet?
Well, if I was the bullet, which I'm not, I would say find the weapon that shot me.
Good idea.
If we find who owns it, we will have likely found who used it, possibly to kill our victim. In conclusion, the more we know about this bullet of yours, the better.
Let's see. Put it away. Let's see here. I've got a tool. More Inland Empire. I need perception, probably.
The bullet is still the jacket of the bullet is made of a yellowish metal. It has blossomed out to reveal a dark grey core. The base of the bullet is close to 5 millimeters in diameter.
Look at the jacket.
You can just about make out a few striations near the base of the bullet. Little hairlines, linear. It feels standard.
And the core?
It's quite destroyed. Some of the fragments are still lodged in the wound.
What can you say about the bullet so far?
It's a jacketed bullet, close to 5 millimeters in diameter.
A jacketed bullet. Okay. It would have been shot from a military-grade breech-loading rifle, not from a muzzleloader like those typically found on the streets of Martinez.
Okay.
Highly unusual. The people of Revachol haven't carried breech-loading weapons like this for nearly half a century.
Even the RCM uses ordinary unjacketed conical bullets. This is strange. Very strange. I like this, officer. Strange means unique. Unique means incriminating. We need to find the gun that shot it.
Something tells you that won't be anytime soon. This'll have to be one of those epic tasks that's open for a while.
Oh, shit! Have a similar rifle on hand. +4. Aware of the name of the antique rifle you found, because we talked to Renee. And +1 encyclopedia said this came from a breech loader.
A rifle, revolutionary period. Your bullet looks to be an old 4.46 millimeter from the surplus left over from the turn of the century. Probably an antique or a retrofitted antique.
Let's see, we rolled a 5 and we had +6 of modifiers. Woof. Okay, make.
The 4.46 caliber was widely used with the Belmargrave rifle, a Revacholian manufacturer. The BM dominated the battlefields of the Insulindian theater of the anti-centennial revolution 50 years ago. Incidentally, you have just such a rifle with you. The dusty old thing you found hidden in the basement below the commercial area. It's unusable, sadly. If it were, the bullet would probably fit the chamber.
Is anyone still making these rifles?
No, but Zeliger, a major firearm manufacturer, ended up with a surplus after the war. So there are still a lot of these old military rifles floating around, usually broken. The quality was appalling.
Who uses Belmargrave rifles these days?
Antiques enthusiasts, guerrilla fighters in distant countries, a few lucky jamrock bangers. You're looking for the same thing you found in that hidden weapons cache, only in working order.
Holy shit.
What are you thinking? Bullet?
I think I know where this thing came from.
Okay. And?
The shot probably came from the Belmargrave rifle.
An antique. That makes sense. There can't be many breech-loading rifles floating around in Martinez, or anywhere in Ravachol, really.
Why not?
Sure, there's some arms trafficking, but the laws prohibiting the use of breech loaders we inherited from the monarchy have been effective, from what I've seen. Some new RCM recruits get impatient with their muzzle loaders once they've trained with military-grade weapons, but they realize it's worth it in the end.
Prohibiting peacetime law enforcement to front-loaded rifles is a policy enforced by the Moralist International in all the nations of the Real Belt.
Worth what? Getting shot?
Imagine if everyone, cops, citizens, had access to firearms that could shoot multiple rounds without pausing to reload. After the first shot, the second, third, and so on come much easier. But back to the investigation.
Sounds like the real world. Okay. Seems like we're looking for an antiques enthusiast. Could the victim have been mixed up with some foreign guerrilla fighters? Have well-armed jamrock bangers started crossing over into Martinez? Maybe antiques enthusiast? Political commentary in my Disco Elysium? Oh my god. This game is actually quite full of it. I'm surprised, but also not surprised at the same time. Let's try antiques enthusiast.
Doesn't seem that likely, but we'll check out all possible leads. Next step, finding the gun itself.
Okay. Well, that was very productive. I'm very surprised that I was able to get through all those, but it turns out that exploring some side stuff really made a difference there. My tendency to explore side quests before doing the main quest has finally paid off. Okay. Honor. I only have one honor. Let's see. I guess we could talk to Kuno now that we've done the autopsy. I know we need empathy to talk to him. Actually, let me save first. That was a lot of work.
Necromancer pig? That shit was dark. Going in there like that. Oh, brutal shit. Tell me, Kuno dies. You're gonna pick one out of his brain like that too? Kuno's gonna go out in a hail of bullets. Gonna look like a fucking porcupine.
It's a white check.
Kuno doesn't fucking...
Let's see. Let's check our thought cabinet, because I think there are a few things. Let's see. -1 authority. Minus shivers, and all red checks fail. Oh god. And this takes 4 hours. That's... Okay. This is 1 hour, and this is 4 hours. Okay. Let's unlock one thought cabinet slot. All red checks fail. Oof. I feel like I should do this before I get some really bad red checks. Seems like the point of this game is victory, the absence of defeat on all fronts. Victory in business ventures and creative undertakings. Victory in love and over other people. Political victory. Ideological victory. Hell, even sexual victory. Definitely a lot of object-based victories too. Having things and not losing them. One problem though, not a lot of victors in sight. Everyone's mostly losing. Why is that? And how do you not lose? Okay. Let's see. I only have 3 empathy, which is not great. Let's see. Empathy +1. I don't think I have anything else that increases empathy. I do have drugs, but I'm not going to use it on Kuno. Okay, let's give this check a shot.
Kuno care?
He's on your crime scene, bossing you around. Andy's been here for some time too.
Damn it.
This is where he hangs out. You have to get more out of him. He could be useful.
Kuno, you must have seen all kinds of things throwing stones here. Want to help the RCM bust a murderer?
Fuck no! What are you? Fucking mentally handicapped?
Kuno, they've almost made you a snitch now.
Ease off, see? Kuno always takes the bullet over the hammer.
He nods, big boy style, incredibly proud of himself.
He'd rather die than work with the justice system.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
All right, let's try that one more time.
Fuck does Kuno care?
Ooh, it's still a 50-50.
What's going on? Is an ungovernable youth on your crime scene, throwing around incendiary language, trying to push your buttons.
Ah, shit. I don't want to try any of these other options in case it gives us a negative modifier.
Fuck no!
Kuno,
Ease off, see?
He'd rather die than work with the justice system.
Kuno does.
Maybe I should have waited until getting some more modifiers, but that's okay. Alright. Well, that was quite a lot. So there's something under these grates, and I don't know how to get there. Let's see.
Vigilance officer, what can this old carabiner do for you?
Legendary drama check? Oh my god. 14. I have a couple of bonuses here. I think it's still going to be quite difficult. Put this on. Let's see, +1 drama. That's not going to help much.
Officer, the mere sight of police in Martinez.
Alright, I'm going to have to try that later. Let's see, I have to wait until 2100 to talk to that guy in the apartment. I guess we could talk to Joyce. Let's see here. Ceiling. Challenging rhetoric. Measurehead. Gaston Martin for the sandwich. Empathy, formidable for Tommy. Pain threshold. That's the door we have the key to already. And ice cream maker. Oh man. Alright. Oh, signal blue naval coat. +1 suggestion. Suggestion, what am I wearing now? Minus half light. Interesting. Okay, well that's something.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
Oh, I forgot to show her the tattoos.
That's the man who was killed. I'm afraid this is a discussion for once we've cleared the lynching question.
Cleared the lynching question. Why? How is it you looking at the photo? How is you looking at the photo tied to the lynching?
Better not tie the fourth day to the bat's day on this. I hope there is something else I can help you with.
Okay, tell me about this alleged drug trafficking.
It's quite straightforward. Someone is using Terminal B to smuggle raw ingredients from the Samar and Isola into Revachol with the Union's blessing. Wild Pines has suspected it for years.
Ingredients for what, ma'am?
Meth and dextroamphetamine, GBL, and various synthetic psychedelics. Honestly, it might be quicker to say what you can't make from the stuff.
Let me get this straight. The materials come from Samara to Revachol through the terminal?
Yes. After they clear the terminal, we lose track. The actual production is taking place at various sites in and around Jamrock Quarter, north of here.
Wild Pine seems to be well apprised of the local drug trade, ma'am. Do you mean to say the Union also produces the product? Sells drugs, I mean?
We're in logistics. It's our business to know. And no. As far as the company knows, the Union does not produce it. They transport the ingredients for a cut.
And you want us to investigate?
Yes, but you won't get anything out of Evrat and the Dock Workers Union. Still, every chain has its weak link.
What do you mean?
The lorries. Someone needs to move the ingredients from the harbour into the city. Once they reach Jamrock, they're distributed to a network of local manufacturers, well beyond our grasp. But in transit, they are vulnerable.
Oh, that must be Tommy.
Perhaps you've noticed that a number of lorries are tangled in a traffic jam at the roundabout just now. Interview the drivers who are still hanging about. One of them might be waiting for a crucial shipment.
Her irises are light green, like the river Esperance in bright daylight, upstream where it's clearer.
I'll be explicit. If you find this driver, I will share company secrets with you.
Why didn't you come to the RCM earlier?
We did. On more than one occasion. Apparently, there's some sort of inter-precinct disagreement about whose jurisdiction this area falls under.
We know the company has launched its own probe into the Union's alleged involvement. We also know it's come up empty. It's not just the RCM. No one's been able to find any hard evidence.
Well, here's your chance, officers.
It's no coincidence the lorries are stranded there like that, is it?
No. We asked East Motor Track to raise the drawbridge. The road company is a partner of one of our subsidiaries. However,
She pauses, looking into the sea.
this is a limited time opportunity. Once the complaint has been processed by the Trade Committee, they'll have no choice but to lower the drawbridge, and the operation will continue.
She looks north.
Thousands of litres of raw ingredients will pour onto the streets of Revachol. Not the east across the river, but the west. The vulnerable, the weary.
Well, at least this solves one mystery.
What is that, Lieutenant?
Why I had to call East Motor Track and beg them to open a drawbridge for me. I'd wondered since I first drove in, on my motor carriage.
I am sorry for the inconvenience, Lieutenant Kisaragi, but we need them trapped here. This is a unique opportunity. I'm sure you understand.
What proof do you have that the Union is involved?
How do you think they're financing this strike? There are thousands of unpaid dock workers going strong for the 4th month straight.
There was a shakedown of local businesses preceding the strike. Many were squeezed to bankruptcy to fund it.
With all due respect to these desert cacti, the contents of a few cash registers cannot provide for 2,000 men. The local businesses can scarcely provide for themselves.
Do you think the strike is being funded with source ingredients for drugs?
Precisely. Smuggled out of that very gate at night, most likely, then loaded onto lorries and driven to Jamrock. You simply need to find one driver who will open up to you.
Okay. Well, good thing we leveled up empathy. We already have some suspicions that one of the drivers was present at the lynching.
The two might even be connected.
Or not. Though, if you have evidence to the contrary, I'm eager to hear it.
As eager as I am to share it, Lieutenant, once the job is done.
Okay, I need to talk to Tommy.
She simply nods.
Let's do this side dialogue. You seem smart. I need someone to give me a lowdown on this reality we're in.
This reality?
It's related to the medical episode. I have trouble remembering even the most basic terms of reality.
Ah, yes. The episode. Sounds like an acute case of encephalopathy, now that I think of it.
She puts down her thermal cup and looks at you.
Don't be phased, madame. He functions perfectly well. He only needs a lowdown on all of reality.
We may be here a while then.
She
Ask away,
takes a long
officer.
tip of tea.
I'll help however
sip of
I
tea.
can.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
Oh my god. Okay, esprit de corps. Ooh, I have really low esprit de corps right now. Where are we?
We're in Martinez, baby.
Baby?
A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed.
I'm a disco holdover myself.
Aren't we all?
And what is Martinez?
Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour. North of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year.
Tell me more about Martinez.
I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before, as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. There are ruins, a terminal, fishing boats, reeds, boys with boxy shoulders. This place used to be a province, a workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its work. The reeds are the real star of the show here now. The further down the coast, the wilder it gets.
You mentioned a sea. What sea is this?
It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. And the bay feeds into the ocean.
Are we near the ocean?
Yes. We're on an island in an ocean, the world's largest body of water, the Insulindic.
Known to the early Revacholians as Les Immensités Bleues, the blue immensities, vast, lukewarm and unknowable, flowing in and out of sight.
What's the name of this island?
Caillou, as you already know. Imagine a pebble. A smoothed-over pebble amidst a great blue sea, misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the River Esperance. We're in the delta of this river, on the 6th branch, the Martinez distributary.
It is clear this pebble is of enormous value to her.
Okay, what's Martinez and what's Revachol?
Revachol? Revachol is what you call a city.
What kind of city is Revachol?
The great kind.
As if it's self-explanatory, beyond patriotism, a fact.
And what makes it great?
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries.
Okay, who built this city?
The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and Ile-Marat, depending on your creed.
When was Revachol built?
In the DeLorean century. 380 years ago.
And why will it resolve history?
They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest. By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men.
Why
We're
here?
standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people in the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. It's where the money is.
So we're in an unimportant part of an important place.
I think it's fair to say so. Martinez is
She points across the water where the skyscrapers rise.
A collection of tall ghosts behind the water vapor, light reflecting off their glass windows.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the Bank of the World building. The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government, Insulindian Mission Command.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time. There is no recognition, only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it.
Where are we?
We are where we are. I have no truer answer to give, unfortunately.
This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you?
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown.
This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure my memory-impaired partner has many more questions to ask, about even more fundamental aspects of reality. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Madame Messier will be here later too, and tomorrow. Isn't that true, ma'am?
Absolutely. My commitment here is long-term.
But won't I be lazy if I don't do it all now?
Oh, of course not. You are already diligent for getting this far, and diligent boys remember where they left off.
Oh, man.
Indeed. I'm always at your service.
Okay.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else? Of course, Detective. Take care.
Let me increase my esprit de corps because there was a check. Let's equip that. Equip that, and I think that was basically it. So I have, is that really it? +1? Oh, it's both jackets. Damn. Let's see, I have +3 to Inland Empire, which is a pretty insane bonus. Okay, and I got something new in my thought cabinet. Shamai Vu, derealization. Temporary research bonus, none. Rivershell Special Administrative Region, Lagacayo. The Insulindian Ocean Coalition Government, Insulindian Mission Command. Name after name, and none of them is familiar. They seem real, but something is wrong. You feel like a kid looking at stickers on the fridge. Trevant, the Apricot Company, World Games 34. You can almost see your hand reaching out for them. Scratch at the corners, see if they peel loose. This feels like the most important of all thoughts, the one you truly must complete. And it only takes 3 hours. This one's at the same point, so I think I'm gonna finish this one. And then I'm almost halfway to leveling up, so then we can get another thought cabinet slot later. We're only going to be streaming here for another maybe 30 minutes or so, because I've got to get going pretty soon. But we'll try and do as much as we can. Okay, let's see how much this check is.
Good. What can I... More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything.
Ooh, man, conceptualization. That's one of my weaker skills. 42%. It is a white check. Yeah, let's try and kill time until 2100, and then we'll try to talk to the guy at the apartments. At a reality lowdown. And then tonight, we'll try and get the Hanged Man's boots. Find the murder weapon. Locate a working firearm that shoots 4.46 ammo. Wash off the death smell. Ask Renee about the photo. That's a legendary check that requires drama. Okay. Yeah, this is the best option, I think, for now.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
I talked to Everett Clare.
You have? And how did you like Mr. Clare?
Finally, time to choose sides.
Oh no. I didn't. Dude, yeah, he was a total scumbag, man. Okay.
Oh, come on now. He has his uses. How else would he have stayed in power all these years? Or wait, actually,
She answers her own question.
corruption. That's how he's done it. Fantastic, worm-like corruption, reaching into the bowels of the earth.
She looks at the ground and nods.
The position of my unusual colleague does not reflect official policy. I hope you understand. The RCM does not pick sides.
Of course. And I don't expect you to share anything he told you with me. I'm not a corrupt worm myself. However, if you felt like discussing something, how could I stop you? Are we not human? Are we not curious to hear another person's take? It's only natural. We would only be gossiping.
Tell her she'll like you for it.
Mr. Everett is helping me find my gun. Sure.
Oh. That's so helpful of him.
The lieutenant looks at you, and you can swear his jaw muscle is trembling.
Uh-oh.
He's able to contain the anger and surprise.
Unconventional police officers sometimes lose their guns. They then go around and tell people about this, to gauge their reactions. It's all part of detecting.
Incredible. Simply incredible. And how is it going? Has this detecting produced a gun?
Oh man, I don't want to piss off Kim. Mr. Everett says it's almost ready to be found soon.
Did he now? Well, then it should be any day now. Unless, of course, he's lying to you. Anyway, was there anything else you've heard?
I'd rather talk about something else for now.
Of course, until then, is there anything I can help you with? More lessons in basic reality?
That was probably
My
a bad
favorite part
choice,
of the day.
but
Go ahead, ask me anything.
I don't think it's really a secret that I've lost my gun. What times are these?
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Too late for what?
For the big time. The revolution.
What is this revolution I keep hearing about?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next, who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
Who got shot in the head?
Those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
Do the communists and the anarchists shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
That's a tragedy.
Yes. The Red Deluge. The Insulindian Deluge, they call it.
Anyone else get shot in the head on the opposing side?
Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
Cowardly king.
I prefer the term risk-averse. King Guillaume was nobody's fool. He could smell a PR disaster brewing, so he got out alive, and his nephew Fricelle got shot in his place.
Wow.
Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time.
Who got the mineral rights?
The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
Okay, and by liberals you mean...
Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well.
How did they win it all?
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
We. She's one of them. Of course.
If everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to?
To foreign intervention. The coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
Wait, you just said the liberals already took everything.
The liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people.
Who are the coalition?
The coalition of nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-la-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
There is bitterness in her voice, tempered with understanding. She is critical, but ultimately understands the cause.
Moralist?
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government.
The rulers of Revachol, and also the world. These guys are strong.
This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of Moral Intern, or Moralist International, is a blue forget-me-not, a piece of grey sky. Unofficial. For a moment, there was hope.
If always picking the option that doesn't commit to anything, then hell yes I am, and also not. I'll say I'm not a moralist.
Of course. Not easy to be moderate about head shooting in your line of work.
Rooty tooty, pointy shooty.
Cock your finger pistols. Oh my
That's
god.
the way of history.
When was this kerfuffle?
The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end, nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
Who started it?
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Marzolf came along and overthrew the government.
I love how Rudy Tooty Pointy Shooty is mandatory. I wonder if it's because I have that as one of my main skills. Because I have 4 points in hand-eye coordination. Or sorry, 4 points in motorics and 5 in hand-eye coordination. But my signature skill is rhetoric. Okay. What did this Sarath do?
It made people overthrow their governments.
No way.
Indeed. Zarat is a highly infectious microorganism that destroyed brain tissue. The actual causes of the revolution were material. The pandemic only provided the spark.
Oh, where did it spread from there?
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Mazov's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
What came next?
Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
Huh.
Something tells you her life and yours are not that similar. Maybe it's because she has a boat and you have that necktie? A pair of pants?
True. Our lives are very different from each other.
No doubt. But we share the same time and position on the planet's crust. That counts for more than you think.
What is the zone of control?
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations, and you, of course, the citizens' militia. The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune.
What happened to the rest of the world?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication, telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
Wow, they've been stuck like this for 50 years? It's been like this for how long exactly?
43 years. Hard to fathom, I know.
Oh my god. What have we been doing all that time?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. '08 to 19 was simply hell.
And after that?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
Then you happened. Your youth in the 30s.
Oh, I passed a challenging Inland Empire check. That's when they discovered disco.
Yes, and quantitative easing. It was a market mirage,
Oh, no.
unfortunately. The 40s dispelled it. An Isla-wide hangover, you might say. So, here we are.
So if you're not familiar with economic and monetary policy, quantitative easing is when central banks reduce interest rates to borrow money to basically zero. It's what's called zero interest rate policy. And that basically makes it really, really cheap to borrow money, which means there's a ton of money in circulation. And one could say that it's one of the main causes of inflation, which we're experiencing right now. Yeah, I guess the summary of what happened in the real world is the American central bank, which is called the Fed, has been doing quantitative easing for the past, since 2008, so 15 years. So there's been cheap money basically for 15 years, and now we're facing the consequences. Oh, Least, welcome to the stream. Nice V2 Batar. You can, yeah, thanks, I guess. Yeah, welcome to the stream. Happy New Year. Hope you're having a good first day of the year. Okay.
Welcome to reality, baby.
Get a reality lowdown. Very nice. Oh, I leveled up. Very nice. What would you have done differently?
Good question. What would you have done differently?
I asked you, who are you in all this?
And I asked you, past-less detective of the Citizens Militia, what insight has acute encephalopathy given to you?
I would have made off with the mineral rights. I would have killed more, 400 million, if that's what it took, or I would have thought of a medical solution Sounds like Sareth drove those people mad. What did Sareth do? If I was in a war, I simply would have won. Just win the war, bro. I think I would have made off with the mineral rights.
You and everyone else. But that's got nothing to do with preventing the revolution. Oh, well. What was, I guess.
That's enough about the times.
They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
Not so fast. Who is she in all this? Ask her who she is. She owes you an answer.
I don't think my rhetoric is strong enough to compete with her. It is 5, so maybe. I want to know what you are.
She won't maneuver her way out of this one.
Say nothing.
I am the vilest of the vile. A traitor. A devourer of nations and infants. I am an ultra.
Ultra?
She raises the corner of her mouth, smirking, revealing a canine.
Dios mío, a liberal. Wait, what's an ultra?
An ultra-liberal. It's a type of liberal. From the revolution. It's, not the moderate kind.
I don't understand. What's so vile about that?
Haven't you heard? I am a nether creature of the Forbidden Swamp. One of those who pushed the king under a shit wagon and betrayed the revolution. We surrendered the nation to financier pirates. No sane person identifies as ultra-liberal anymore. Not in broad daylight. I can see we're not so different, you know. Tell me, now that I've uncoiled myself, do you find me frightening?
In her green eyes, you see a mixture of truth and self-satire. Decades of guilt and pride.
Huh. I mean, she has profited significantly from being an ultra-liberal, I guess. Decades of guilt and pride. So that means she feels really bad and really prideful of all of her successes. We'll just say, I forgive you, but only because you're charming.
A devil, who being of great charm and guile, sneaketh into the homes of the godly.
Beneath her waterproof raincoat and silk shirt is a body imbibed in numb 12 perfume. You are suddenly and intimately aware of it.
Oh my fucking god. This third option, oh my god. We're not doing that type of playthrough. Devil woman. Let's do number 2.
I'm afraid you'll find that every woman is a devil woman, detective. There are only aesthetic differences between one and the other. When the dust settled, the liberals were the only ones left to clean up the mess. By virtue of their survival, they were handed enormous power to shape the future. This was all our last generation managed.
Oh. Would you have done something differently?
With due respect to our overlords, the eternal caretaker government that keeps Martinez a monument to the efficacy of its artillery.
While a gentle wind sweeps the streets in the rebuilt east, light drizzle washing it clean, lights go up and motor carriages circulate the tracks.
I would not have relinquished sovereignty to the coalition. Not here in Martinez, and not in the Stella Maris or Delta Beachheads either. If not for my own sake.
She realizes her small, cold fists are clenched. She loosens them.
Then for my daughters. We had an obligation to defend our sovereignty. We should have burned the whole Isola down rather than let them have it.
Dark orange flames reflect in her green eyes. An oil fire on the ocean.
You're a patriot?
Yes, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't be a patriot anywhere but here.
Seditious talk, man.
The lieutenant puts down his notes and gives her a look. You're a smart woman.
Perhaps. My intellectual vanity will be my undoing.
You have daughters?
Yes. Whatever else I am, I'm also a mother. And a wife.
Okay.
Now, shall we return to reality?
These checks are a little bit too tough for me right now, so I think I will try to at least get some clothing to increase this. Oh man, centralization, 3%. Okay. What is acute encephalopathy?
It's a neurological disorder caused by a lack of vitamin B in the brain. Symptoms include a retrograde amnesia. It's quite serious. You should get yourself checked out.
She conveys it in short, cold bursts, trying not to invest too deeply in the condition of this doomed detective.
Oh man. Dude, putting that 1 point in empathy, I think was worth it. Because I'm getting a lot more dialogue.
In case he goes down later, souring the entire portfolio.
I know you've got a lot riding on me. I won't let you down.
It's not just me, Detective. All of Martinez has placed its chips on your success. I pray we've all bet wisely.
What causes encephalopathy?
Well, it's either bariatric surgery or long-term alcohol use.
Oh, frick. It's definitely the drinking.
She nods slowly.
Okay. What is this?
A bird? A sphenicid? A flightless bird of the polar regions?
Keep guessing.
Some sort of krill hunter? No, wait. You're an ancient ruin. A symbol of hubris and decay. Half submerged in some salty sea.
Are you saying I'm ruined?
Of course you're not, my dear. I'm just terrible at guessing games.
I meant, what is this place here?
Ah. This is the pier of Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33A, where the tenants have been kind enough to rent me a slot. Or two.
2? Jeez. What is the Rue de Saint-Ghislain 33A?
A pre-revolutionary tenement. Old buildings are called tenements, you see. And new buildings, bâtiments. After les bâtiments nouveaux. But 33A and 33B are not nouveaux. They're old.
She looks up at the crumbling facade.
This one used to be 8 to 10 stories tall. A real high-rise by the standards of the last century. Built to mirror the skyscrapers across the bay in the Delta. That was before the war, of course.
Who lived in them?
Mostly the urban middle class, I believe. This was once primo real estate, before the cannons lopped 4 or 5 stories off.
Splat, splat.
From a dilapidated balcony, Cindy the Skull gives Joyce the evil eye, her red paintbrush held to her throat.
You could be wrong, but from here it appears as if she's running the brush across her throat in a soaring motion.
Okay.
Wonderful.
What is that? Point to Cindy the Skull.
The girl in the old lady rags.
Sure.
Looks like a sullen and rebellious member of a teen infraculture.
Infraculture?
Yes. You and I belong to the supraculture. We're common, the herd. The music on the radio, the food in the chain restaurant, those are all too popular for the girl in the old lady rags. She prefers a fantasy world, an infraculture with its own dress code and vernacular. It is an illusion, I'm afraid. There is no refuge from the supraculture.
I understand everything. Make it more complicated somehow.
I can't. That's how simple it is. One may dye their hair green and wear their grandma's coat all they want. Capital has the ability to subsume all critiques into itself. Even those who would critique capital end up reinforcing it instead.
True.
All right. What next?
Okay, so the only things left are the checks. This one's 42%, but I only have 3 points and it's 3 decor, so we'll save that for later. And then this one is gonna
Glad
be
to have been of assistance.
way later.
Feels-
Yes?
Okay, Kim does not have any new dialogue. The other guy I can talk to is the cook. In the whirling. This is not the way. Okay. Suggestion, half-light, electrochemistry.
Can I help you? Another thing. Yes?
I'm a little upset at that bug, but... Okay. Let's see. Alright.
The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you a little nod, acknowledging your presence.
Leo said you're friends with Manana. Is that true?
The mention of mañana gets his attention. He smiles and delivers a whole slew of unfamiliar words and lively gestures. Then he falls silent again. They're friends?
Oh my god, empathy coming in clutch now. What is in that borscht you're making there?
The man says a couple of sentences in that strange language of his and then seems to wait for you to speak. I'm pretty sure he asked you a question.
Sorry, I don't understand you.
Just one word. Sounds quizzical. Then he awaits your answer with his brow arched.
Yes.
Borscht need more vodka?
He picks up a bottle from the shelf.
Okay, so it's vodka that keeps the men happy and in good spirits. Clever move by the Union.
Of course, vodka. Now that makes a very, very special borscht indeed. Turn it up and then ask for some yourself. Turning it up seems like a dangerous idea, honestly. The place is a powder keg.
Let's make it more of a powder keg. Turn the vodka up.
He smiles, nodding vigorously, then pours half a bottle of vodka into the pot. With a whistle, he stirs the brew.
You know what's behind that door.
He looks up at you, then looks away quickly, shrugging and muttering something to himself. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door.
Could I have some of that brew?
He smiles and nods enthusiastically.
Nice.
And, chattering away in his language, ladles some brew into a small thermal cup, then hands it to you.
I don't think I need anything else. Okay, what did I get? +1 physique, -1 morale. Okay, same as all of the other alcohol then. Okay. What time is it? It is currently 6:52 in the game. I hear music.
The door is closed. Still nothing. The lieutenant gives you a quick glance. He doesn't like where this is going.
By the handle.
This door can only be opened with a key or from the inside.
Okay, maybe not when Kim's here. Or maybe when Kim is not here is what I meant to say. Let's see. I can try this interface check again.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In it, your face, adorned.
Alright, let's equip this.
A mirror hangs on the bathroom wall. In
Oh,
it, your
shoot.
face,
Only
adorned
72%.
with the expression. The chain cutters slip out of your hands
damn
as you
it.
attempt to twist the faucet into place. Well, you know one thing for sure. You've probably never been a plumber.
Okay. Well, that sucked. But we've been doing pretty good with our checks today so far. Check the map real quick. We're gonna end pretty soon, so maybe we can figure out something short to do. Kuno requires empathy. Joyce, esprit de corps. Tommy requires empathy as well. So we're definitely gonna need more points in that. And then electrochemistry, impossible. Yeah. Can I pick up that bottle? I think I've tried before.
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
Suggestion? I think I can put some points in suggestion. I don't know if these points count, though. It has to be stat points, if I recall correctly. Suggestion +1. And then empty hand slots give +1 suggestion. Okay, hands empty.
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
Hmm.
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
Is it gloves?
Oh, hello, dear. There you are again.
No? Okay. Oh, that's kind of weird. It's not giving me a bonus, but oh well. Set of tracks. Was there something I missed there? It says it's a medium check, but I'm pretty sure I cleared everything there already. I do have glasses that increase it. Did you just say Everart isn't paying me enough for this? Okay. Visual calculus from these glasses. I think that's the only thing that will increase it. Yeah. I need to get onto that roof.
What do you see?
Let's see.
A woman or a kid? Understood. 200?
He might be right. 200 kilograms of living weight is unlikely.
Probably yes. This would also fit with the victim being dead from a previous gunshot wound. They had to carry him because he could no longer walk.
Oh.
Is there anything else that's noteworthy here? Interesting. Someone operating a workbench with a pedal? Like a drummer only. Perhaps it could be a driver. A driver would wear out their right shoe before the left. The accelerator is on the right.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
He doesn't seem to hear you, looking south toward the traffic jam instead. The machines are silent. The engines are all turned off.
We should keep our eyes open around the traffic jam. See whether anyone strikes out as a potential suspect. Seems prudent, no?
Mm-hmm.
How old do you think these trucks are?
It is not impossible.
As I said, I pulled last week's forecast for coastal Havashol. 7 days below freezing. The day before his hanging was the last warm day.
Correct again. Sub-zero temperatures would preserve the tracks in a good state. The commotion here could have taken place a week ago.
What do you think happened here?
What do I think? A mob of people brought something heavy to the tree. One of them was carrying the victim. They shuffled around, especially under the tree. Then, after hoisting him up, they stood in a semicircle facing his direction. At first glance, this appears to be a lynching.
Indeed. They all stood in a row here and looked at the tree.
But we know the victim had a bullet in his head. A more precise way to put it is, it was made to look like a lynching.
We've been purposefully misled.
Body's tracks? Yes.
Okay. Let's see. It's still saying set of tracks medium. And it's grayed out, which means it wants me to put a point into it. I want to save it for something else. I did get a little bit of experience from that after finding the bullet. Okay. And then what was the one with ceiling? Let's see. Rhetoric. I definitely have more points in rhetoric now. Alright. I can also use cigarettes. Let's see, rhetoric is 5 now. Let's see what the check is.
Everything's still cool here, officer.
Challenging. 72%. Not feeling super confident about that. Let's see. It only takes 1 health, so let's do it.
There it is, a brave little army in your pocket. The 1st Smokes Platoon.
Oh
20
my God.
brave souls standing in salute, ready to step into fire for you, sir.
Pull 1 out of the pack.
You picked the best one. This soldier is fat and succulent. What are you waiting for? Light up. Re-become yourself. Get a load of this rock and roll cop here, people. Johnny Thundercop fishes a cheap lighter out of his pants. With a flick of the thumb, there's fire. A primal satisfaction. Here we go.
I'm addicted to alcohol and cigarettes.
The lighter's dark green disposable plastic. Safety's off. In your case, the safety is always off.
What are the repercussions if I do this?
Repercussions? There's a high risk of glory, with a mild chance, cool genius. Smoking makes you into an intellectual. Everybody knows that. It will help you concentrate a bit. That much is true.
Alright.
Thick, warm smoke gets sucked down into your lungs. Immediately, you feel a warm nostalgia fill your head, body, and soul. A nostalgia for yourself, the man you were in your youth. Johnny Thundercop is back, and he's chill as balls.
Amazing. I also forgot I had a quest for that, so it gave me EXP at least.
In the bottom right corner of the screen, there's a cigarettes button.
Okay. Well, that's enough of that.
Everything's still cool here, officer.
83. That's pretty good.
No need to dress this
Oh,
way.
come on!
Just tell him what you want.
Oh, okay. But why, officer? Ah, yes.
Are you trying to ask for a bribe?
Sorry, detective.
Damn.
The speakers below are banged up and worthless.
You keep coming back. That's
Okay,
good,
plus one
officer.
composure,
Keep
minus
browsing
one
those
shivers.
clothes, keep saving that economy.
You find the box.
Economical, but also trendy. Look firsthand, buy secondhand. Keep the economy moving.
What's my composure at? 5? That's a pretty decent piece of clothing. I don't have anything that increases composure right now. But let me save it for later. I need to save my money.
The shine on these sunglasses lasts a lifetime, officer.
Can't believe I fail all of these easy checks, but I guess that's the dice. Okay. Check that garbage can already. Okay, I think we're gonna save here and then look for someone to raid, because I do have to get going. Let me take a look at my map real quick so I can save somewhere. Joyce. Okay. Mirror. All right. Let's go to Tommy and see what the check is. Let's see, empathy's at 4, which is decent.
Still here. Stuck in this damn jam, my man.
Ooh.
What's up?
It is a white check. And we're gonna put another point in empathy eventually. Let me see how close this is.
Still here. Stuck in this damn jam, my man. What's up?
Alright, we'll save it for next time.